This is 11 Personnel. I'm Nick Roush. He's Adam Luckett, and we are presented by our, not good, but our great friends at Monticello Bank. They've been great friends of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Since how long, Adam Luckett?
I should know this.
You
I
should.
know it's a long time. 1896?
Oh, man, so close.
95?
Year off, 1895.
I was going to go with that, and then I don't know. I just was feeling the 6 there for some reason.
Maybe that's because that was the interest rate. Now it's lower at Monticello Bank.
I think it's just because I'm in football season mode now, and 6 equals touchdown. So
there we go.
Why I did it.
Well, you can score a touchdown on your next interest rate, whether you're shopping for a home, looking for a car, whatever it may be. Savings, maybe you want a CD. There's a CDs joke in there. No matter what it is, Monticello Bank, they've got you covered. They're much more serious than we are, but they'll be your friend. They'll hook you up. They'll take care of you at nbcbank.com, or you can visit one of their locations. They've got one near you all over the state, 15 locations, 21 different counties. Monticello Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and proud presenting sponsors of 11 Personnel. Adam Luckett, welcome back. How was vacation?
We had a good time. It was a good time up in Gordon Bombay's town. I was spent pretty much every day at University of Minnesota campus. So, I saw the football stadium like 7-8 times, walked around, saw the basketball, saw the
Did you get to go in the barn?
Arena. No, they had the barn shut down, unfortunately. So that was disappointing. But they have a hockey arena and a women's hockey arena. So,
whoa, 2?
Yeah. So,
not even for the basketball barn either. I would expect them to all share a locale, but they have 2 ice hockey arenas. That's Minnesota right there.
I think you could argue the hockey is the biggest sport on campus, men's hockey.
Which, I mean, it makes sense. It checks out.
Yeah, they've won 5 national championships. They just hired a new coach. So that is probably the biggest sport. But the stadium's nice, 50,000 seat stadium. Not a bad seat in the house. First thing I did when I walked in the stadium, Nick, was I looked up to see where the press box was. I was like, where do they put the press box here? And it's in the corner. It's in the corner because now they're all the suites there. But the stadium, nice stadium. They actually had some more parking than I thought they would have. So I could see the tailgate would probably be a lively tailgate for a game there. Mississippi State is going to Minnesota week 2, and that is going to be
interesting.
Quite the culture clash.
Yeah.
Up there. So all that was going through my brain while I was in Minnesota. But a good time with the family at Special Olympics. Brother Amos and his team took silver.
Nice.
They basically.
Oh, you muted yourself. You knocked your. Oh no, he knocked his mic button out. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh no, and now he's off. I do. If you're interested in what the tailgate scene is like at Minnesota, Scott Docterman, who covers the Big Ten for The Athletic. He's a big Iowa guy, though. I love that his podcast is called Legends and Leaders, or Legends and Listeners, excuse me. And he had a great article where he went to a tailgate at Minnesota, and they freeze up there. They just go up there, but they're used to it, right? And not only do they freeze up there, but they have figured out, how to rig to where the tents can be enclosed, and they have the heaters, and that's where
they have tunnel. They have a tunnel system.
It's awesome.
They have a tunnel system that they take freshmen in orientation and show you how to get around campus. Now, it's not the best system from some people I talked to. You can get easily lost, but it's the campus is right. Where my brother was staying in a dorm, the Mississippi River was probably 100 yards away. So, could you imagine the wind coming off that? How cold that would be. It's a different level, I think, of cold up there, but their summers are sweet. It was 75 to 78 the entire
that
time
nice.
we were there.
Right about now. I could go for some of that. Did they have any oars out? Did you see any of PJ Fleck's paddles?
I did not, because where the football facility is, it's actually back behind. It's not close to the stadium.
That's
it's
unfortunate.
It's stadium, then it's basketball, hockey, tennis center, all and then fraternity row. Fraternity row is right next door to the basketball arena.
Oh that's a good hang.
You could just walk right there, and then it's not far from the football stadium either.
Okay. let's play the game. Name Minnesota's coach. I will start by saying that there for a while it was easy because you had Tubby followed by Little Ricky, Richard Pitino. I remember that Tubby had Ralph Sampson's kid too, kid or grandkid, one or the other. But who is Minnesota's basketball coach right now? Was it the guy that was at Colorado State?
Yes, now it is. Yeah, it was his first year this past year.
Oh man, what's his name though?
Yeah, unique name. You're gonna. As
soon as you say it's not Danny Sprinkle, because Danny Sprinkle's with Utah Valley to Washington. They were the same cycle, and man, I cannot hit me with his name.
Nico Medved.
Medved. There we go. Oh, Nico. That feels like a good fit for Minnesota.
Yeah, he's actually from Minneapolis, so I think that's why he took that job. But
there we go.
He did a really good job at Colorado State, and they actually, I think, overachieved a little bit from what the expectations were. So, yeah, I think they could get something going on basketball. But basketball, from just my time there, it feels like it's on the back burner a little bit. It's an interesting place. Like, you've got Minnesota and everything, but then you've got, like, they've got 3 professional – well, really 4 because they got the soccer. I guess the soccer team's in MLS. Mm-hmm. They've got 4 different pro franchises, right? Or 5, really, if you count soccer. You've got the Timberwolves, the Twins, the Vikings, the Wild, the hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
The soccer team. Nick, all 5 of them they play in different facilities. Like they have a facility for each team, which I just like blew my mind that the Timberwolves and the Minnesota Wild didn't play in the same arena.
Yeah.
They've got a hockey arena in St. Paul where the Wild play. They've got a soccer facility in St. Paul, which we were really close to the soccer facility. Like you take a left soccer facility off the exit, you take a right. That's where our Airbnb was. And then they've got the Vikings got the huge arena downtown, and then Target Field is the Twins Park. Target Field and Target Center, where the Wolves and Twins plays, are right next door to each other.
Am I correct that they used to be a Kmart city? Like
I can't remember it. That sounds right. Maybe Kenyon Martin just played there, and you thought, no, it's Kmart.
Because
I know Target is the whole. They run the Target. Pretty much runs the city. They're
okay. Because I saw a Kmart sign while watching the original Mighty Ducks. Like they had sponsors all over the old North Stars facility. So I thought they were Kmart, but I got them mixed up. The original Kmart was in Garden City, California. So, Garden City, Michigan, excuse me. But nevertheless,
Troy, Michigan was the headquarters, and then they moved.
There we go. So I got my northern cities confused. That is crazy that none of them share locales. But I would get. Do we think that the Wild take precedence over the Vikings? Vikings got to be the top dog.
Yeah, I would say Vikings are the king.
Yeah.
Of king Minnesota of sports, and then
now it's LaMelo Ball's town.
Yeah, but I think the Wild is interesting because that wasn't their team growing up, right? It was the North Stars. They moved to Dallas, so it's probably a little.
Still going to take some time. Yeah,
and they haven't been necessarily great, but yeah, it's definitely a hockey town. I think it's the state of hockey is what they call Minnesota.
Not the land of 1,000 lakes.
They love their hockey up there.
Well, we do have a listener watcher up in Montana. Saw 11 personnel pop up. Sorry, kids, stay in the car and let's lock in. Montana, another beautiful time of year to visit. Maybe not the best in the cold weather either. That wind gets to howling. It's a little brutal. We've watched the Yellowstone shows. We know the winters can be rough. But that sounds like a great spot to vacation as well.
Good FCS football in Montana.
Oh, that football field in Missoula is beautiful. The soccer stadium in Monterey. Have you seen the pictures of that? It's Rose Bowl-esque, where like it just frames the mountain in the background. And like I know Monterey isn't that scenic, but the way they have it set up, it is incredible. So some of the scenes of the World Cup have been exciting. We got a big match tonight. I'm going to be locked in for Go USA. Suck it Bosnia. Suck it Herzegovina. You're going down. But we aren't here.
Where is Bosnia? Like what's close to Bosnia?
I believe it's Balkan.
I used to know all this stuff. Like I used to know where everything was on the map, and now I'm terrible at it.
So Bosnia actually has a Bill Clinton statue in their like downtown because I forget exactly who we were bombing, but we apparently were the good guys to help Bosnia. But I believe it's a Balkan country, if I'm not mistaken. It's in that Eastern Bloc. But where exactly could I pin? I couldn't do that. But I'm with you where I still, if you gave me a map of the U.S., I think I could put every 50, like the name of every state on every state, a blank map. World countries, it's more challenging, obviously, because there's so many tiny ones in Europe, and then you get the big ones in Africa. But that's a fun game, a little geography game to play.
Baker has a floor puzzle of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
That we put together. That has helped me, like, refire the old brain there. Oh, that's what's next to that. Oh, that's what's next to that. Oh, Alabama, Mississippi, I got them flipped. What am I doing?
Oh, man. And I'm sure driving in that big Sprinter van up to Minnesota helps with the geography as well. And one other fun thing that's been fun about the World Cup is showing, like, we're used to seeing the big globe, but, like, knowing that I don't think, like, most of Mexico is not farther than the central time zone. Like the West goes a lot more west than you think. Outside of what do you call that? The peninsula, the Baja. That, and now I can't think. It's not Aruba. Why can't I think of that vacation place that everybody goes to?
Isn't Guadalajara over there?
Guadalajara is more Texas. But okay. Overall point being,
knowledge.
We go a lot more west than I think most people expect. The other one is just like how we don't realize how North Europe is. Like
Cabo San Lucas.
Cabo, that was the one I couldn't think of. But like the whole, like Tunisia, that's like equal to where we are, but it's Africa. So we just think in our minds like Africa, that's in the tropics. Like no, like we are pretty tropical. England is much more north than you expect, and I think those poor English, they're going to be that elevation in Mexico City is going to be brutal when they're trying to run up and down the pitch later this week. So, a little geography talk, a little vacation talk as we start with 11 personnel because it is talking season. Today, we are going to kind of put the bow on what was the summer June recruiting blitz, talk about a couple new recruiting additions, plus some stuff we learned at camps. And then, Lucky, you weren't here. And it actually went live after I got off the air with Jeff Drummond. So I just did a rapid reaction because, Lucky, I don't know about you, but I was so excited whenever UK released the theme schedule for this upcoming fall football season. I know it's a wild concept, Luckett, but just giving people a heads up on what to wear. It's a very little thing, but like I even told somebody over there at UK, I was like, you have no idea how it should not make me this excited, but it is such a breath of fresh air after what we dealt with in the past.
Yeah, just it's another example of they're doing everything different. Everything is just they're doing the opposite, really, of everything, or it's a twist on everything. And this is just another example. Nick, this is kind of what like pro teams do. Like I always see the Bengals before every year they announce what jerseys they're wearing for every game.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Florida does it
for the games, right?
Oregon does it.
Yeah, all these
Auburn.
Yep. It's just the way things are done now, and so
well, like go back to when they pulled out the black helmets for the first time. We all like they were kind of hinting at it and teasing at it, but like you don't. It goes back to like that was 20th century thinking versus 21st century thinking. 20th century thinking, you didn't put anything about the plot, really. You did just enough of the plot, but you didn't reveal anything in the trailer, the movie trailer. Now in the movie trailers, they tell you every character that's going to be in there. Like there are very few surprises, but they think the studies have shown that this era, you're more likely to show up if you get all the information. Same thing with stuff like uniforms or theme nights or whatever. It's better to get people excited than to wait until an hour before kickoff to show us the black helmets. Like, it's just like, come on. We know it's coming. Like, just Just give it to us. Wait an hour before kickoff. Like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, I just think like it's just a total rebrand and a relaunch in a lot of ways, and this is just another example. And then like even tease like on the throwback night, like seems pretty blatant that the Power K is coming back. What game is that? LSU.
LSU game. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's becoming obvious that is happening. And then like they called it night ops, which I'm interesting to see like what the twist on that is. Obviously, I think they're combining that with their military appreciation game that they always do. So what does night ops mean?
Do you remember the glow game at U of L? They supposedly
had
like
I do. Bobby was there, wasn't he?
It was like glow in the dark uniforms, but they didn't have LED lights, so they couldn't turn the lights off to like show them off.
I think that was like the Lamar Heisman.
No, it was more recent because I think Brom was. It was the game. It was either UCF or Virginia where they played on like a Thursday or Friday night. Because I showed up and was drinking on the party deck, waiting to see all the glow stuff. Nothing was glowing up.
The most hilarious Louisville uniform debut is not the the Syracuse jerseys they wore. The what were those called in basketball in 2012?
Oh, the Zubaz or whatever.
Whatever they called.
With the
what do they call them?
I forget. Those are bad, and they were a title.
That was what they called those jerseys. But yeah, they look like Syracuse. It wasn't that. It was when they came out. I believe it was 2015 in Atlanta. Played Auburn.
Yeah.
And they had whatever that dumb bird was on the helmet.
He had the green eye.
Yeah, I was like, "What is this? Edgar Allan Poe? What is going on?"
And that was when Bobby wouldn't say who their
starting quarterback. Yeah.
So they put all three of them on the field for the first play. It was Pass, Lamar, and Reggie Bonifant, maybe? I think we're there three. That
sounds right.
Yeah. But funny enough, I don't know which one of their people does it, if it's Eric Wood or if it's Luke Hancock, but one of their people who does ACC Network Hits has that Cardinal Bird helmet in their backdrop, which just amuses the hell out of me. But if, Kentucky has the LED lights, I would assume it would be some sort of light show. Maybe they get some drones and bring them out. Who knows what that could entail.
Infrared.
There we go.
I knew it. I knew that was something else. But yeah, but Baylor had the neon yellow then too.
If Kentucky does the throwbacks, though, correct me if I'm wrong. That's only happened once, and it was a disaster.
I was there.
Me too.
Ohio,
2003. They had it was the state outline with the little wildcat on top of it. The uniform looked like the Indianapolis Colts uniform. It was not very good. And I don't know if the helmet actually had ever been worn, ever. It was just the logo that they had on the midfield for a long time. So it was kind of funny because it was a throwback uniform of a uniform that had never been worn before. And then they lost to Ohio at home.
Yeah, and it wasn't really like all that close. Ohio kind of controlled the game.
Yeah, they just beat the crap out of them. I want to say it was like Kentucky tried to come back, but ultimately lost 27-17 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a double-digit difference.
Yeah, people were booing. I mean, early in the fourth quarter and leaving the game. So hopefully, fortune is much different this go around if Kentucky does unveil some Power Ks with the old Claiborne era jerseys. Freddie did share an old picture of him wearing what could be the uniform when they beat LSU at home. So could be a fun little deja vu for the Cats. I'll make sure I share that picture later on when we tweet it out. But Lucky, let's talk a little bit of recruiting. First, though, while what's old is new, what's new is old. Here's something that is new. If you've ever wanted to try podcast, sportscast, whatever it may be, let Zen AI take care of it for you. You don't need to have all the expertise when it comes to production. You don't need to have a Stephen Peak work all of the gadgets and gizmos that make your conversation come to life. Try out Vibecasting with Zen AI. It's the same way that vibe coding made Claude possible for pretty much anybody to code. That's what Vibecasting is doing for Zen AI. Whether you want to make a whole podcast, whether you want to just put out some TikToks, Reels, whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be short. Vibecasting can be whatever you want it to be, a casual, candid conversation where Zen AI makes it into a nice, polished product. Check them out today at zen.ai to sign up to be a part of the invite-only beta. That's zen.ai to try Vibecasting today. All right, Luckett. It is July 1st. It's actually Rivals signing day, the summer signing day special. But oddly enough, typically it was like July 4th and later. The commitments have almost all happened except for one, Jaden Boyon, who is not trending towards Kentucky. It's looking like he's going to announce on that show to go to another SEC program. Kentucky ended up going all in on Jalen Mercer, I think, to fill that spot. But before we reach what is essentially this finish line, we got a couple more commitments last week, like it. Sean Fox and Tyler Fryman, 4-star talents, joining the 2027 recruiting class. Like it, these are. I think up until this point, Kentucky had checked a lot of boxes. They got some star power. They got some star power with Jake Narrott, but they needed some more. And Fox and Fryman, they certainly fit that billing.
Yeah, which one you want to start with here?
Yeah, the dealer's choice, brother. You got a week off. You got some words to make up for.
We can start with Fox because I think he's been on the radar a little bit more. And there's been a little more twists and turns where Fryman felt like for a couple months now, Nick, they were going to get him. Where Fox, it was up and down. Interesting player, 6'5", 210 to 220, I'd say. You turn on junior tape, he does look a little skinny, plays linebacker. It wasn't necessarily, I would say, unnatural playing in the box, but I don't think that's his permanent home. They play Warren Central, played him outside the box some, and you saw some more of his impactful plays, I thought, kind of off the edge. Some development, I think, is needed, but intriguing skill set. And I think outside of Narrod, he's probably got the highest upside in this class. Just if he can put on some weight, get to 6'5", 230, 240, you could see him developing as an edge rusher. And then we're starting to see more of these edge rushers, Nick. Defensive coordinators and defenses trying to move them around a little bit more. Play some in the box, play outside, and just you're seeing it all over football. Now, I think Fox has got the potential to do that, to be kind of a wrinkle, but I mainly think he's an outside linebacker first, who's got some rush potential and just a good athlete and is going to fill an important role. I think him and Higgins, interestingly, both kind of played more in the box in high school, but I think as they transition, outside is going to be more their permanent home. But they've got two legitimate kind of 3-4 linebackers with Higgins and Fox that could, if they need to, could play inside for you as well, give you some versatility, but guys that have potential to develop as pass rushers, and that's what I think Kentucky's looking for at that spot. Intriguing player with an intriguing, I think, toolbox.
I think in the case for both of those guys too, if you're a high school coach and you've got a big sumbitch like that who's that good of an athlete, you kind of just have to put him in the middle of your defense because you can't have the other team just run away from him or go. You know what I mean? Like if you just stick him on the edge and tell him to go, you can almost be cutting off your nose to spite your face some. But I think the ability, the body control in the open space is very promising, even if you do have some questions just about their ability to get home. I think that's one of those things that just has to come with experience too. That it doesn't matter how good you are at getting home at the high school level. It's different when you level up. The thing that I thought was interesting, like it was just that when he was asked about like player comps or what are the coaching staff seeing you, Arvell Reese came up. Do you see Arvell Reese skill set, or is this Tony Washington just naming his best and most recent success story from Ohio State.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at with these edge guys that are being moved around. It's kind of like that is like a fad right now in football. I think it really kind of started with Parsons, Dallas. That's when it really got, I think, really popular. And you're just seeing it more. You're seeing it some in college. They're just moving these guys around, especially with Kentucky, like the simulated pressure package that we're probably going to see where linebackers are going to come, defensive ends are going to drop, and it's going to get a little unique in that aspect. I think you've got to have guys like that. And so, yeah, I could definitely see that now. I'm not going to say like that's a unique skill set Reese has, and he's really good as both the off ball and as a pass rusher. So we'll see. But it's definitely like that's like the mold to me. Like that's what I think Kentucky's kind of looking at and projecting Fox to be as someone. If it hits, it looks like that. Yeah.
Now, we'll get to more of his actual ceremony and whatnot, but we've said it before. There was a time where it looked like Clemson was the front runner, but Kentucky was able to pull off the coup, get him committed to the Cats at a premium position of need. Another position where they needed some help was at wide receiver. You would have thunk that all these guys would be flocking to play for Narot, and Ivan Lewis flipped just a few days before Fryman committed. But the Cats did get a good one, a top 200 talent who, look, he's just one of the best athletes in the state of Kentucky, full stop. I mean, led the state in hits, 200 meters state champion in track, like has scored in a state championship football game. Like you name it, this kid has. I mean, it's you check every single box that you want out of a high school athletic career.
Yeah, I think you just kind of hit on just the athletic profile, just his list of accomplishments. It's pretty impressive, right?
And he doesn't, like, you look at him and it's like this doesn't look like a freak athlete, but he is. You know what I mean?
I got Ladd McConkey vibes when I watched him.
Oh.
I think there's inside-outside versatility. He can absolutely fly.
So fast.
But I thought the most impressive, at least from my two eyes watching him, was just I thought he had really impressive change of direction. There's some start and stop on there. I talk about this a lot, Nick, with receivers. You got to be able to break tackles. Like the game is a lot, but you've got to be able to play through contact. I think that's the best example of being able to play through contact at the high school level when you're a ball carrier. You're better. You should be better than a lot of these guys you're on tape with. You should break tackles. Yeah. You see that from Fryman. You see he plays a physical brand of football, I think. You see it on defense. You see it when he blocks. He's obviously got special teams value. We know he'll fly. Like, just go watch that baseball clip that was floating around the internet, right? Like, this dude can absolutely pick them up and put them down. But we've seen guys at Kentucky that could fly, but
were
a little rigid.
Yeah,
couldn't break a tackle. We're rigid. Couldn't get in and out of breaks. This guy can do that. So I'm intrigued. I think slot, it's probably his home, like your slot receiver, but I also think there's that outside versatility. That's why I bring up McConkey, because he was a slot receiver who was a dynamic at getting in and out of breaks, but he had the speed vertically to stretch the defense and tilt the defense and create big plays. I think Fryman's got some of that in his game. Plus, I think he's going to be probably Kentucky's starting punt returner when he gets here. I would project him as that. So there's a lot there with him. He's not the X, like this true X boundary receiver. I think Lewis was probably that in this class, so they don't have that. So where do you find that moving forward? I think is a question mark, but this is a guy who can, I think, threaten the defense at all three levels of the pass game, both the short, intermediate, and then deep part of his game. I think his speed's going to give him some advantageous situations as a route runner. If he can develop that, which I think he can, because some of the change of direction you see from him and just the overall athleticism and just baseball, like you got to do that start and stop. In baseball, you're not running a straight line very often outside of 90 feet, right? You got to turn and try not to lose speed. And you see some of that with him. So I understood the ranking when you kind of dig in and watch him, because he's got some stuff to him.
In the funny, I don't want to say the funny thing, but from what I've gathered, he's probably a better baseball player than Matt Ponatoski, but I don't. And Ponatoski, from what I've gathered, it feels like there's more of a lean for him to
I wanted
take
to
the
ask
major
you
league
that.
route.
I
I
wanted to ask you that
I
because of
kind of
this
think
Canadian.
I kind of think Matt Ponatoski is going to take a Major League Baseball contract and play in the minors. Just based on what I've gathered and what I've heard, um, we'll wait and see. But it seems like that's the case, and I don't think it would be a tremendous loss for this coaching staff. Now, for Bush Heyman and Mark Stoops, it would have been a disaster. But in the case of Stein and Sloan, not only do they have Narod in the fold, but they could get somebody else too if you miss out on Ponatoski. And that's part of why they got this Canadian, Cal Wither, who started his career. He's from the town next to Jamal Murray, next to Kitchener. I forget the name of the town. I did a lot of Canadian research on this guy, but he played for the best high school up there. Goes to Athens, plays at Ohio, just never appears. Goes back to Canada, is the best quarterback at their collegiate level. Gets them to their conference championship, undefeated season. They end up losing. He has an uncharacteristically bad game, and initially was going to play for Loxley at Maryland. And
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but has decided to end up in Lexington. To your point, that tells me probably something about Ponatoski, and just based on what I've heard, it tells me I feel like Ponatoski's probably going to say, you know what, I don't need to do the college football route, and if I want to, I can always go back in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Fun fact: Ohio kind of had a Canada pipeline. Excuse me. Ohio Bobcats had a Canada pipeline. Like the Rourkes are both from Canada. Now Curtis Rourke played at Indiana, so that's probably where you remember that name.
Yes,
was their quarterback before. Was having a big year before he got hurt, but his brother Nathan was just Tim Tebow in the MAC. Like he was awesome at Ohio there for a couple years. So yeah, we'll see. Depth is something I think we're going to talk about a lot with this Kentucky team.
Yeah,
like where can they absorb losses? Where are they in trouble if losses occur? Quarterback, I don't know. Like if something were to happen to Minchie, I would be worried. Yeah, because it's just they've got to. Because say that's the reason they moved on, or that's the reason they got this guy was the Ponatoski replacement. Like how many years of eligibility does this kid have?
They say 2.
Very many. So that makes me feel a little more nervous about Brennan Ward. Really, it's Brennan Ward because Jakai Long. I don't know if he was ever in Carson Kruger. I think it's a walk on.
Yeah.
So you just worry about where are they at quarterback after. Well, and then that gets us back to because we didn't really see anything in the spring, so we don't really know what's going on. All we know is they feel really good about Minchie, and so keeping him healthy is just imperative.
I heard from somebody who watched the scrimmage that Long had a good. One of those scrimmages he performed well, but that was about all I got from any sort of QB2 knowledge. And I've kind of generally speaking have operated under the assumption that if your starter gets hurt now, you're kind of screwed. It's the NFL, they pay their backups $10 million, and they can maybe.
But you got to have a backup that can win a couple games. It's kind of my
it's like the Packers with what's his name,
Malik Willis.
Poor Peak. His Dolphins paying that guy. That's going to be a disaster. Same thing with Jacoby Brissett, which now Jacoby Brissett's like, I want to be paid by like a starter. It's like, Jacoby Brissett, you are not a starter. You are just get us by and now help us tank for a year.
Well, I hear him because he's like, if I'm going to get the crap beat out of me, you're not going to have to pay for
it. But to get it back to Kentucky, there's part of me that having that reliable QB2 or somebody that can win you a few games, I feel more comfortable about that when there's somebody you recruited out of high school. Trying to cobble something together out of the portal feels more like a crapshoot. And really, we unfortunately we've seen them try to do that many times in the past, and it hasn't worked. Sawyer Smith was good for a half before he got hurt. Steven Johnson was an unlikely success story. But outside of that, it's been a lot of bad. So I think a lot of it, like it, is you kind of just hope that these quarterback coaches can coach them up a little bit better and have a better game plan than running a trick play on the first snap against South Carolina.
Yeah, I just think that's part of why Stein was hired. It's just his QB acumen and developing. And so, what would it look like if they did have to go to a backup? Would be interesting, but hopefully that never.
Yeah, that
never occurs.
That's what you hope. To get back to the recruiting bit of things, because I got some questions about the 2027 class, but I did just want to mention the opening, point blank, period, because that was we had the Sean Fox commitment, but not only did we have the Sean Fox commitment, like it, you had 4 other UK guys show up on stage and dap him up in the middle of this live broadcast on the CBS YouTube channel. That's something, right? Like, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but there is Kentucky is doing things. You gotta recognize that, right? Like, something's happening here. As Sean Fox said, time for people to wake up. I think that's incredibly noteworthy. I also think it's noteworthy that Jake Narrock got to spend that whole entire summer camp for 3 days throwing to Jahad Brown. And he is becoming bigger than even I anticipated. I knew that he was going to be this 4-star sort of blue chip talent, but this next rankings bump, he's probably going to end up being a top 100 player and one of the higher ranked receivers we've seen here since the Rondale Wandale couple years. And I don't think it's nothing that he got to spend his weekend catching balls from Jake Narod.
Yeah. in Louisville, there's fascinating stuff going on right now, right? Like,
yeah.
Allen Evans flips to Vanderbilt. Vince tweets about playing chess. While all that's going on, Jahad Brown really has this splash performance at the opening in Kentucky. Is there? So yeah, I mean, Nick, we've said it since in December, right?
Yeah, a lot of twists and turns.
There's going to be some fireworks here, so just get ready for it. And I think it's setting the stage for what should be interesting during the season and the race to December. But back to the players being excited or whatever, it's just the vibes are strong. There's a lot of good vibes right now, and that,
a lot of good vibes
that you see in that play out right now. And Stein has brought this up. We're undefeated, haven't lost a game, so it's a lot of positivity right now, and they're selling that, I think, hard, and everyone's feeling that, and they're excited for the season. Then we'll get to see what happens when the season starts, but it's just a sign that the vibes are strong. And then I think it's also an indicator that just their process overall, I think it's a healthy, good process recruiting.
Yeah.
They did a really good job just getting kids on campus consistently over and over and over again. And I think that led to relationships being built both between coach and player, but between, player and player. Seeing the same guys on the visits, all of that. And so I think that's just another sign that what they're doing. Number one, it works. Number two, it's not just like you've got all this momentum because you're new. I think that's from a year-over-year standpoint. If you're able to consistently do that, I think you're going to have pretty good chance to build strong recruiting classes. And so we're seeing that all play out. So I think process is good, but also they're doing they're being where their feet are and being able to sell the fresh new car smell essentially as best as they can. And you're seeing them do that. And I think you can make the argument, Nick. I don't know if any coach, first-year coach, you go through the hires, who's made a bigger splash? Lane, obviously, but it's, different.
Right.
But other than that, like he's made the biggest, I think, splash of any. Like there's nothing coming out on Silverfield at Arkansas, really.
No.
They're doing an okay job, it seems like. But Matt Campbell
like
at Penn State.
Auburn kind of did a little early on.
Yeah, that'd be the one maybe.
Right. But like James Franklin, you were expecting more, and they went head-to-head quite a bit on the trail. Kentucky won a lot of those battles. I think we saw the dividends of that at that camp too. Tristan Hughes was having a pick party and was one of the top 10 performers at the camp. So yeah, maybe there's a first-year guy that I just doesn't come to mind and isn't on our radar because they're not in this region. But Stein has been the sort of
Kyle Whittingham at Michigan was another big hire. But this doesn't win games. It doesn't really matter in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a first impression. But they've gotten out to the best start possible.
Yep.
Now we'll see if they can turn it into something tangible. Summerall has done they've done a good job. But
Summerall, Florida, they've recruited. They got a very good recruiting.
Yeah, I think he's in the if you're going to say the winners, I think Stein's in that tier. I guess is my overall.
Yeah, if you did like a top 5 winners and losers,
I don't think there's any fan base more excited. Maybe Virginia Tech. I think Florida's excited. There's also like Prove It To Me.
That's true.
At Florida. Or Auburn's kind of, I think they're in the same boat. Or with Kentucky, they're just I think there's like this unbridled optimism right now with Kentucky. Kentucky has committed. To me, Nick, it's a perfect example. I think Stoops could have had this class last year, and people would have poked 800 holes in it outside of Narod. Right?
Yeah, right.
But now you're seeing the benefit of the doubt back, which is kind of what recruiting is about. Like, it's about optimism. It's about projection. It's like, okay, you see this. And everyone's kind of all in right now, just really excited for the season. It's a total flip again from last year at this time. Now, obviously recruiting better, but like they've had like Stoops and them had classes like this, but it feels like there's more spark behind this one just because I think the fan base is excited. And I think Stein gets credit for that because they're marketing the program the way you should.
Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. Well, I want to get to some questions about the class at all. But first, need to talk to you about our friends at BetMGM. BetMGM. Wait, you can win a share of $500,000 in bonus bets every time the U.S. scores in the FIFA World Cup? Are you kidding me? What are you waiting on? What? That's insane. Make sure that you're on BetMGM right now. Whether you're using this Goal Rush or the Parlay Boost tokens, they've got all sorts of boost tokens every single day for BetMGM customers. And if you haven't signed up before, what are you waiting on? Use that bonus code ON3 when you sign up at BetMGM. Download the app, and your first bet, if it doesn't win, you're going to get it back in bonus bets up to $1,500 when you use that bonus code ON3 when you sign up at BetMGM. BetMGM. Make this summer legendary. Make it one for the history books. With the best sports book on the market, it's BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. U.S. promotional offers are not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the U.S. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. That first bet offer is for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards and non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. All right, Luckett. We have the 2027 recruiting class. The hay is essentially in the barn.
Feels that way.
What do you think is the best part of this class? The strength of this recruiting class? Would you just say what, or are you just going to repeat yourself and say it's the process?
No. Okay, for like Narod, obviously, like anything, it was going to be hard for us to look at this as a bad class once they got him.
That's correct.
So it starts there. Like they might have the best quarterback in the country committed here, so that's exciting for everyone. So it starts there with him, but we all know that.
And I think after that, it goes to the trenches because
Yeah, yeah,
particularly offensive line, when it's like, this is what you had to do, and you have three quality interior guys, and then like Don Black, he's starting for at least 2 years at right tackle. Like I can't be convinced otherwise. That guy is an SEC starter. He's got the frame. He's only going to get bigger, stronger. Got a great athlete too. Like his basketball tape is fun to watch. Really like him as a sort of headliner. But the other part too, like it is like, they are in on other guys who are committed elsewhere. Between Caden Moss and Antonio Berry, they didn't win the initial recruitment, but like 4 months from now, they'll be able to at least go back to the table and take a swing at it. So I like what they did on the offensive line, and the defensive line has some quality players as well.
yeah. Offensive line, just like what they did, got 5 guys, and you're right. Like we talked about it, to rebuild this and to really fix what has been a year-over-year problem, you've got to do it through high school recruiting, and this is a start of it. Getting 5 guys, I think 5 quality additions here. You got 2 tackles like Black, I think, your right tackle. I think Ian Walker's a left tackle. I like, I was really impressed with Reed Gherkin personally.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked his tape. I thought strong fundamentals, and it's projecting him. I feel safe projecting him as a guy who can be a multi-year starter for Kentucky. So I think that was a nice get for them. And then, they're going into Ohio, win 3 battles, right? And then you get, you hold off South Carolina for Brady Hull in state. So who I think is probably a center for you. Mm-hmm. So you see, they kind of address it across the board. I really like what they did at offensive line. Defensive tackle, Nick, like I really think it's important, and I try to bring this out in like this scouting notebook series we did at KS Board, and then all these write-ups, I'll put them all together when signing day gets here. But just stylistically, they're going for different players. And they're going to ask defensive tackles to kind of do different things. And they're going to ask defensive ends to do different things. Ask corners to do different things on this defense. Right. Where I think Elijah Brown is kind of like a prototypical kind of one technique 4-3 defensive tackle. A little more squatty, a little more run-first defender. Where I think Malachi Brown is more of kind of a 3-tech defensive tackle. Yeah. Malachi Brown, got to work on pad level, plays high. That would be my one big worry, but moves really well for his size. And you got to think he's going to be 6'3", 280, moves really well. And a lot of Kentucky's style is going to be about, twists, stunts, simulated pressures, like we talked about, moving people around. Brown, I think, will excel at that. And then I definitely think he's got the profile to develop into a pretty good interior rusher. So you see that with them. I think they complement each other really well right there. And then you get 2, I think, big bodies with Jalen Mercer and Griff Galloway. I think Galloway's got a little bit more to him right at this point. But both those guys, I think, are going to have the size to potentially slide inside. I think they're both going to play at 260s, 270s. So if you need it, they can be an interior rusher there for you if you want. So, and it's kind of, this is transitioned over from the portal, building it from the inside out. I think we're really seeing Kentucky do that and value that.
Which I think, to your point, when you expand out, generally speaking, I've just been pleasantly surprised by the defensive recruiting, where I can see the vision pretty much across the board. That group of defensive backs is incredibly talented. We talked about Sean Fox. So, like, defensively, much better than I expected. But if I were to say, like, a weakness or a gap, it's just, how good are the skill players on offense, right? Like, is this – because from my read, my read is that some of the skill players they were after, Kentucky was unwilling to get there financially. That they would rather not risk spending on a freshman receiver or a running back, or even, they didn't really recruit tight. Hey, no, they got tight ends. But I think they were unwilling to pay a premium for skill talent and are instead opting like we would much rather have a sure thing that we know is going to be a starter for us if we're gonna spend money on skill players.
Yeah, I just think they're taking a meat and potatoes kind of philosophy to team building and addressing it inside out first and trying to build up lines of scrimmage.
Which
Heard them talk about it, but I don't feel like those are empty words when we've heard Stein talk about it. I feel like you look at what they did both in the portal and here now, they know that they've got to build it in the trenches, and you're seeing them try to make it a good, honest approach with that and putting their money where their mouth is, for lack of a better phrase. And then we'll see. Like,
yeah, well,
they're going to need it. Go ahead.
Like just high school recruiting, like that's where you have to build it too. It's a lot harder to do that in the portal.
Right. And you're going to be able to find, I think, running backs and receivers probably. You're going to have to pay regardless, but you're going to find them easier. But, Nick, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Kentucky's recruiting, like, well, it's like we're always going to spend a lot of time on Sean Fox's. Like I said, he's probably got the highest non-QB upside in this class. Jake Narod is going to be our content machine here at KSR. Like, we're going to write 8 million stories about him, and everyone's going to be all in.
Actually, 9 million. Yeah.
And, like, just, everything that comes with that. But at Kentucky, and I firmly believe in this, Kentucky's class comes down to how many 3-stars did they hit on and develop? And to not necessarily stars, but like quality players, right? That's where they got to be good. At Kentucky, you have to be good at that. And so that's what we're going to see. And a lot of those are kind of, you look at the 2 running backs, Mason Ball, Kelsey Gerald, Austin Coles, Antoine Higgins, Jalen Mercer, Reed Gherkin, Ty Ashley, Drew Williams, Ty Ashley. Adam Luck is a big fan. Yeah. I don't know if any of those 2 dudes will be stars, but I'd be surprised if they're not good college football players.
So are those your sort of underrated guys in the class, of those 2 linebackers?
Those 2 and Kelsey Gerald would kind of be
okay.
If I had a Luckett's guy sticker, I would stick that on their helmets because those are like the 3 stars I would say I'm probably most intrigued by. And I think Conrad Hart, like I think he'll be like lowest ranked player, but I think he's going to be solid.
Yeah, I've said it before too, but Miles Brown is one that I feel like has the highest ceiling. I don't necessarily know about the floor, but I think he might have the highest ceiling in this group. And then the kid from J-Town, LaRon Westmoreland, like he's going to Corbin this year. He did pretty much everything at J-Town. These are 2 guys with just crazy athleticism that if they put it all together can be awesome. Westmoreland I just get Winston Guy vibes, which very underrated Kentucky Wildcat who just had like 100 tackles a year for like 3 years. Just like put him out there, let him go get the ball, right? Like I don't know exactly how each of their skills will, like what their ceilings are going to be, how it'll manifest, but I do feel like those are 2 players that maybe not necessarily the highest ranked guys, but are worth rolling the dice on in high school recruiting.
Yeah, LaRon Westmoreland and Austin Coles, I kind of think like when we list their positions, I want to just put question mark.
ATH.
Yeah, because I don't know where they're going to play and how like Westmoreland's interesting because he could play. I kind of projected him to be like a big nickel.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
And then Coles, like you watch him, and I'm just like, this is a tight end. Watching a tight end. Yeah, but he gets in and out of breaks like surprisingly well for a guy his size. Like I was very surprised just kind of watching that. So it's gonna, we'll see. How they use tight end, what they're looking for a tight end. I'm not really sure yet, so we're gonna have to see that kind of play out. But yeah, it's for them. I just don't even know what position they play, so it's gonna be interesting to see just what the plan is for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that gets back to what they told us this spring, where they don't like calling guys inside or outside. The few times we watched practice, the tight ends were flexed out in the slot a decent amount, so maybe that's sort of the vision they have for Austin Coles. So we'll wait and see. I do think it is very, like we can't mention this enough, but it's over, but it's not close to being over, right? Like there are going to be plenty of flips, both good and bad for Kentucky this fall. But currently, the Cats have a top 25 recruiting class. Kentucky has as many top 15 players from the state of Alabama as Alabama. They have as many top 200 players as Alabama. Cats are in, I believe it was 9th in the SEC last I checked. I don't know if that's changed. So in the right, this is right where you want to be. More
in the
boxes.
mix, 100% in the mix. Yeah,
exactly. And Mark Stoops had moments like this. He got led astray down at the end of the road, but this is how you build it at Kentucky. It's not going to be easy, but there's, this is us seemingly kind of closing this chapter of the recruiting saga. We're going to be turning to 2028 on the KSR Plus. So, if you want to learn more about that, they just offered some kid from Oldham County. Check that out now. But we do have talking season on the horizon. SEC Media Days, we're going to be there. Is it 2 weeks from now or 3?
It's a little under 3.
Yeah. But 3 weeks from today, we're going to be podcasting in Tampa.
Yeah.
So that is when you're full on talking season, but a lot of previews about the players, what's to come. Essentially what we're saying is we're going to get to actually talk about football, right? There's been a lot of this is kind of going on, and there's Congress, and there's changes to the sport, and there's a lot of recruiting, but we are going to be talking more about football. One thing I'm going to promise the people that we will not be doing. It's my least favorite content that college football world does.
This is how it's real. Pick this bad boy up in Minneapolis. I got the Big Ten cover this year.
Oh,
got the Big Ten cover.
Nice.
So this is how I know it's real. I know this is not for everyone. Some people have another favorite preview mag, and some people think preview mags are stupid now because we have the internet.
Right.
But this is how I know real. This is the ultimate resource for me. I love this. I love Phil still. I love it. I love that he's still doing this.
Just data.
This biggest edition ever. I love that he's as ridiculous as possible. Nick, he's even got portal reports in here.
There we go.
I mean, just portal starts added. Then he has percentages breakdown, which I love, of homegrown, which is high school recruits on your roster.
Oh, that's fun.
And he has them ranked nationally on that. So love it. Love it. That's how I know it's when I get this in my hands, I know it's football season. And dadgummit, it's football season now.
Oh man, it's exciting. What I was to say, we're not doing the thing where this Saturday is going to be the best Saturday ever for college football fans. People keep doing it, and it's you don't know. You say that. These teams stink, all right? Just all of the Saturdays are good in the fall. Don't just circle one because the schedule appears to be loaded for that Saturday. That content drives me nuts.
I cannot wait to be writing a scouting report on Wednesday or another long form or deep dive piece for KSR Plus and have, Jacksonville State Liberty on TV. I just cannot wait for that. Just like a Wednesday, it's the perfect background noise. Just look up, there's a fumble-rooski going on or something. 24-yard punt. That is what I'm ready for.
I've enjoyed the soccer. Has been a fun little background noise while working, but it's incomparable to because football you just do one play at a time, right? All right, I don't need to care. I can put it down. You just saying that Mississippi State plays at Minnesota that was so far off my radar that we're going to do it. We're doing it live. It's going to be fun.
If we did an 11 personnel road trip where it's just our job is to encapsulate the culture of college football, I feel like that's a game you have to go to. Just for that, they're two teams in the same spot in the two big conferences, but they could not be more different.
Yeah.
And then Mississippi State's running this wide open spread, and they've got an offensive lineman essentially as their coach. And then Minnesota is absolutely 100% ground and pound defense, special teams, run game football. And they've got, a coach who's in this terrific shape, PJ Fleck, or it's a tie on the sideline. They could not be any different. And they're the same colors essentially. Both wear maroon.
Yep.
That is college football. That is college football. And in just the most random. It's going to be. I looked it up. 3:30 CBS, like Brad Nessler and I guess Charles Davis this year
man.
because Danielson retired. So
Incredible.
CBS on the call. Just that's college football right there to me.
Oh man, and it'll be here before you know it. It's July. It's the desert for Kentucky sports, but we're still going to be here giving you content each and every week. I meant to record a video with Dan Casey to share later in the day, but I hit the wrong button because Peak wasn't there to hold my hand. So it's just live on the YouTube right now. If you want to go watch it, it's like 20 minutes of him talking about Will Stein's offensive scheme. We've got that for you ahead of the 4th of July weekend. You can listen to on your podcast feeds to help get you wherever you need to go. Get there safely. Celebrate America's 250th birthday with a smile on your face. Hopefully it ends without any injury, any harm, whatever it may be, and that we can all have a damn good time having some ice cold beers, some hot dogs to celebrate America's birthday. Adam Luckett, it's been a pleasure. We'll be back next week with more. I'm Nick Roush. Go Cats and go Cats.